Hey gorgeous ones, hey gorgeous ones. All right, so today I decided to try to do a tutorial with a voiceover. A lot of times, because I deal with women who aren't really into makeup, they're always like, oh, I need a fast makeup look, I need a fast makeup look, I can't be doing all that, I can't be doing all that. So I thought about it, and this is what I normally do on a regular basis when I'm going out the house and I'm just rushing and I'm just going for a more, not, I wouldn't say natural, but just an easier look. So I wanted to share it with you. Now it's not 10 minutes, it's under 20, because you know brows take a minute and I'm extra. So some of the steps you might be able to say, you know what, I'm not doing all that. So you don't have to do everything I do. But if this gives you a good basis on how to create a good everyday, you know, getting out the house, looking, you know, looking polished, because I'm not going to say you're going to look better, but you're going to look more polished, then I hope this helps. So if you want to see how I created this look, how to create a little easy breezy look for yourself, stay in and stay tuned. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments about it, do you have a routine you would like to share, any products that work for you, or if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. I would love to hear from you, and y'all know I respond back. All right, so that's it. Let's go on to see how I do my face. All right, hello, hey, how you doing? Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing we're gonna work on is putting an eye primer on. I always do my eye primer first when I'm doing this so that it dries down completely, because when you're doing, I'm gonna not be using a brush, and then I want it to dry down, because when you're using your finger, sometimes it doesn't blend well if it's a little still too wet. So I'm using the e.l.f. eyeshadow primer right now on my lids. That's first thing. All right, so then next up is I'm using the e.l.f. under eye hydrating primer. I put that under my eyes next. That way it can sink in and it can help to hydrate under my eyes, because you know, especially us older ladies, we don't want to have that little dry, crepey look under our eyes. So this is great to start with. All right, so now next up, we're gonna work on these brows. Now, bear with me, because you know the brow struggle is real. I'm just getting to the point where I'm pretty comfortable doing my brows, but I'm still, you know, still not perfect. So what I normally use is I use the NYX micro brow to outline my eyebrows and create the shape, and then I fill it in with this time I'm filling it in with the with the MAC eyeliner pencil in Twig. So I use the NYX micro brow in ash brown, and then I use the MAC to fill it in Twig. So let's get that brow done, child, because you see the struggle is real, y'all. And you know, normally I wouldn't show you all this, but I figured I should, because you know, I know that we all struggle with our brows, and so you know, I just wanted to show you guys that hey, we are all in this struggle together. So brow 1 is almost done. Let's go to brow 2. All right, and that is the moment when you figure out that your brow pencil is about to die and you're almost done with it, but you're too lazy to go get another one. So you're gonna make it work. You're gonna make it work. The struggle is going to happen, but it's going to work, y'all. Make it work, girl. Like Tim Gunn says, make it work. Now, the thing about eyebrows is they tend to be sisters and never twins. Sometimes they cousins. You know, they just family members. And today, they were on the verge of being cousins. But, you know, hopefully they'll wind up being sisters this time. Ooh, look at that eyebrow. What am I doing? Fix it, Jesus. Fix it, Lou. Fix it. Call on somebody. Call on your mom or your daddy, somebody to fix that eyebrow. Child. Yep, they're officially sisters, not twins. right, but that's good enough for today. And sometimes that's all we can do. They might not be perfect, but they're good enough for the day. All right, so next up, I'm going to prime my face, and I'm using today the Ordinary High Adherence Silicone Primer. So I'm going to do that first. All right, yes, get that primer on. And so because I'm going to use a powder foundation, next up is I am going to conceal. And so the concealer I'm going to use is going to be a little bit darker. I'm going to use my Maybelline Fit Me, and I'm going to use it in deep because I want it to be close to my skin color, like almost like a mini foundation, because I just want to, just get a little, help those little dark spots out just a little bit. And that way it can dry down while I do my eyeshadow. Oops. While I do my eyeshadow before I start putting on the powder. So now that that's on, we're going to start doing eyes. So the eyeshadow I'm using is the Winky Lux palette. I'm using the burgundy color. And what you want to do is just tap it on with your finger in your lid, because you want the lid to be a little bit darker, and then you're going to blend it up from there into your crease, into your brow bone. So you want to go into your crease with it, so you want the lid to be a little bit darker, and you just keep doing that until you get the color that you want. So once it hits the color that you like, then go ahead and do the next eye. All right, so now I'm almost done with that. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is I want to pop the lid. So I want to give the lid a little sparkle, so you just don't want to have just on one little eyeshadow. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to next, as soon as I'm done doing all this, is I am going to use my Butter London glazing gloss in Starlight. And I'm just gonna tap a little on my finger and put it on my eyes, on my lids, and then blend it out so that it'll give it a nice sparkle. And the thing I like about the glazing gloss is because it doesn't hide the color underneath. It just creates like this really pretty shimmery enhanced vibe to it. So you can use any type of shimmer, eyeshadow that you like, but you always want to give your eyelids just a little, glow, a little shimmer, a little pop. So, choose how you want to do it, but this is just the one I choose to use. So if you have something similar to that, that would be awesome to use on top of it. Or just tap a very small amount of a powder eyeshadow on, but be very light-handed with it so it doesn't overtake what you have on. All right, next up, we're going to line those eyelids, and now I'm using a dark brown gel eyeliner by LA Girl. When I'm doing things like this, I like to have a more natural look, so I don't use black eyeliner. I use a dark brown, so it's a little less harsh. And I'm also going to do my waterline, because I always do my top, the top of my, line. I line the top of my lids, and I always do the waterline just for a complete look. And that's just my own personal preference. You don't have to do both, but I do that so it gives a complete look. And with the brown, it's not quite as harsh in the waterline, so it also helps my eyes to look, as I'm concerned, a little more open. That's probably not right, but I just like mine like that. And I do a very light on the waterline, not a super dark line, because this is for a more everyday natural look. All right, so next up, I'm going to start on the face. And the first thing I'm going to do is take my Laura Geller Balance and Brightening Powder Foundation, and I'm just going to buff it on with a foundation brush. Just give it a good buffing in until I'm happy with it. Another great powder foundation is MAC Studio Fix. And if you like that, you should just go ahead and get that one and do it. And then, I love the Balance and Brighten, but I also love Studio Fix. That was my ride or die forever. Now, next up is bronzer. And so I'm going to bronze those cheeks up, girls, with my Beach Betty by Lorac. Get that bronzer on to give me a little contour, and then I'm gonna do my forehead, you know, bring down that 6 head down to a forehead, and then cut that cheek so it's a little bit less, you know, we gotta, you know, get rid of that double chin. Define that chin line, darlings. Then comes blush. I'm using my Ofra palette, and I'm using a little bit just to give it a little natural flush, not too much, just a little bit. And next up after that, of course, is highlighter. So let's highlight that face. And I'm going to be using my Cover FX highlighter right now, and that's going to be in, I'll point out the color because there's no name, so I'm using that little champagne, rose goldy champagne color right there. Now the thing with the Cover FX is you can build it up to a really good sheen now. But it still has a natural glow, and it doesn't emphasize texture, but you can see it on there now, child. It ain't playing with me. At first I didn't think it was on, but ooh, child, now that I'm looking at myself, yes, I got on some. And I like to swirl my brush. I do circular motions to help to blend it in faster and easier. And then just a little something on that nose. All right, next up is first I want to spray my face. I always spray my face before I start my mascara because my mascara is not waterproof, so I don't want to have any runs. So now we got the voluminous eye primer. I always use, when I'm just wearing mascara, I always use my primer, and this is by L'Oreal, the Voluminous Lash Primer. And this helps to create volume and length on my lashes. So that's what I'm doing right now, is creating a little volume and length. And so once I get that done, now this is not necessary, but this is just me because I want, you know, I'm extra and I love my lashes to look as, you know, long and voluminous as they possibly can. So after I put on the 2 coats of the primer, then I'm going to put on my mascara. Now today I'm only putting on 2. Sometimes I put on 3 different mascaras. So today I'm putting on the Tarte Lash Paint, and I use that because it creates length in my lashes. So I use that for the lengthening of my lashes. That's the first coat. And you can even see that you can see my lashes coming together, darlings, coming together. Give it that little zhuzh at the root, and then you'll see that it's giving me some length. I always have a clean spoolie so I can, you know, go through my lashes in between coats. And then of course you want to make sure you do that bottom lash. Get that bottom lash. Thank you, Lou. Don't be forgetting it, because sometimes I do forget to do my bottom lashes. That's why I had to tell myself, don't forget, do your bottom lashes. I really didn't do them that well. I could have done them better. Just the truth. All right, next up is my next coat of mascara, and that is the Lash Princess by Essence. And I use that one, the volume edition, because it creates more volume in my lashes, so I get a more thick lash after I've gotten the length from the Tarte Lash Paint. So it creates the volume that I want, the thickness that I love in my lashes also. All right, finally done with that. And now next up, the last thing is lip color. And I'm using my Alissa Ashley and e.l.f. Nude Rose Lip Gloss. Ooh, I'm in love with this. I'm so sad that I didn't buy 2 of them while they were still in. So that's it. That's all. That's my look. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and if you're new, don't leave without subscribing. See you later. Bye-bye.